The way we look at food system at Unilever is broadly under three headings. The first heading is around investments in regenerative agriculture. The second is around tackling what is the big, monstrous, I would call it, issue called food waste and finding ways to reduce food waste. And the third is around what we can do as a company to provide more nutritious, healthier products to all the mouths around the world. Let me start with regenerative agriculture. And here, I think it's a question of finding ways to work in better harmony with nature, by having programs that put nutrients back into the soil, and at the same time, also diversifying diet. We have a brand called Knorr, which many of you will have heard. And together with the WWF, we've developed Future 50 foods with the intent to diversify people's diets. 75% of the food that we eat comes from just 12 different kinds of plants and 5 animals. So the need to diversify diets is important. And clearly one direction is also to find plant-based alternatives to meat and to our dairy products. Moving on to food waste. I find it monstrous that 1/3 of the food that is produced ends up in waste. So for that reason, Unilever has made a commitment to half the food that comes from direct operation. First we said 2030, but we realized we must move faster. So the commitment is now for 2025. And at the same time, I think our responsibility doesn't end in our direct operation. Through our brands, our purpose-driven brands, we can change behavior. And one example, which I think is great, is the Hellmann's brand that talks about make taste, not waste. And encourages people to use their leftovers from previous dinners and make delicious products with mayonnaise. The third and final point is how can we have a more nutritious products? And here it comes from having more of our portfolio comply to high nutritional standards. And again, we want to double that by 2025. Secondly, we must reduce the salt in our food products, and we must reduce the calories and the sugar in our ice cream and in our drinks. And in ice cream, we have put a calorie cap, which is a maximum of 250 calories per serving. And clearly, when it comes to children, we need a tighter limit, which is 110 calories for our children products. So in summary, these are the three headings. By no means do we think our approach is perfect. And actually, by speaking in forums like this one, our approach can only improve. Many thanks.
Thank you very much for this excellent input and inject into the panel discussion, and particularly for pointing out the need to reduce the food waste. The second that I would like to underline is that we are working quite a lot with the food and drink industry in WHO to encourage them and to nudge them to move towards the WHO targets on salt, sugar, and trans fat intake. And whereas some progress has been made on the salt, there is still a long way to go on the sugar and the trans fats, but it's very encouraging to hear from you that it is doable. And also the fact that we have to be extremely careful what we advertise for our children, because the obesity today is a key issue around the world among children, adolescents, and adults. So looking forward to a great collaboration, and thank you.